welcome to another episode of Femme Queen, Crazy,
Sexy,
cool.
And on this episode, we will be talking to the iconic media maven herself. As she would say, she's here for the shit. Kelly Gorgeous Gucci is joining us today.
I hope y'all
Yeah. You on my territory now, Kelly. What's up, ladies?
I'm loving the bomb, bitch. The bomb is giving me bomby.
Well, we got a lot of things to get into before we
Yeah.
even before we invite our guests. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. What do y'all think about this political climate? And
We're going straight there.
we might as well.
We're gonna play a game.
Yo, let's start with some positivity.
Okay.
First,
Look
because that's
like,
about
just
to
keep
get.
it light, 'cause
We about
that's
to be
so
on the nasty
She
train.
went straight there, like, okay, now listen. We ain't got time to play all this other stuff. We're going straight to politics, baby. Let's talk
Put
about
that
it.
bitch there.
Bitch, I feel like
I'm
they trying to
swinging.
tire us
All right, so
out.
who's gonna
She
pick?
said-
Do we each pick a card?
Yes,
or what?
we all pick a card.
First, let's toast again.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
act like I got my glasses. It's okay.
yeah.
I don't want to feel that.
Well, you should have
Sippity.
sit. Yeah.
Throw it back.
You're gonna lean to the front
Give us something.
for liberation and visibility.
Amen.
Throw some love up in there. That Henny go do it to you every time.
I think I
All
want
right.
to let it go. That's always in my head.
Take another love TKO.
Ooh, that's
Okay.
Ah, so what's
Ooh, see, Asia had that thing bumping.
Yeah.
What's this card game, y'all?
So
I don't know,
this-
Asia,
this
break it
game
down.
It's just like we're just gonna pick up each card. Each of us gonna pick up a card, and we're just gonna read it and tell us how we feel about that card. So I started off.
I saw this one earlier.
I seen her looking through. Oh, y'all picking? Y'all seen them already?
No,
she was
no.
showing me something.
Now we're
Oh,
showing
okay.
that.
So you're not doing that. You're gonna pick
No,
another
because
one.
I saw it earlier when she showed me. Yeah.
Listen to understand,
The
guys.
girls got prepared answers and shit.
So, what traits do you dislike about the most about yourself? I would say that sometimes I second guess. Is that a trait? No, that's a trait. I would say I'm a loner. Me being I enjoy it now, but it took me a long time to get there. Being an introvert, like I'm always in the crib. I'm always home, and that's my vibe. I love to be alone, and I sometimes my friends may feel like I don't want to be around them, but I just love that space alone. It's like I feel free.
I'm a loner too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your turn.
Ooh. In your teenage years, what did you not receive, and how has this impacted you? Ooh.
The shadow is nasty. Let's hit you
Yeah,
with a cute
this little game is a key because I'm trying to think. What did I
This is
didn't
like what we be
receive?
playing at Simone's
At
house.
Simone's house. I have
You
a
know,
box
get
something
together.
like this. Like, what is it? We're not strangers or something like that, right? I'm trying to think of my teenage. Like, did I really have a teenage? You know,
sure you
because I was
did.
like ripping and running a lot. So I think what I think has impacted me, I didn't take breaks. Like when I came out and I started hanging out, I was rampantly like out in the clubs everywhere. Like I grew up when it was a time of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So my teenage went very fast. So I think how that has impacted me, that I find it difficult at times to pace myself.
Yeah.
Like I want to do everything, and that impacts me in ways when I take on several projects thinking that I could do everything, and then I don't pace myself. So I think what I didn't get as a teenager was the ability to just slow down.
I get that. Sometimes I feel like that.
Like you got to take care of
I
everything.
be always on a go.
Yeah.
That's
like,
the hustle. You was hustling as a kid. That's girl. You was hustling as a baby. You was getting to it.
that's what landed my. I should have changed the hustle.
Mm-hmm.
What experiences did you have as a child that impacted you in a negative way? Why was it so traumatic? Oh.
That dog gate.
Yeah.
Shadow.
The shadow.
Y'all talking about do I want to start right off, bitch? Oh God. I mean, should I be fake and just go to something?
No.
No, just
Wow.
The respect of the femme queen. Give it.
It says what experiences. I think like it's so funny every time that I say that I'm gonna like start writing a book, the first thing that always comes to mind, and every time I think about the beginning of the story, and I don't know why this impacted, well, I know why, but it's not something that like happens all the time, but my dad did beat my mom. Like my father, like if you hear from my mother, she says they used to fight. I'm like, Mom. she like, child, we used to fight. He didn't beat me. And I just remember one time they were fighting, and God bless the dad. My father did a 360. He's a different man now, but I mean, before he left. But I remember him like beating my mother. Like one day, like she's on the floor kicking, and he's like over top of her, and they were like in my room at the time, and so I always see that. Like as starting to, and I was probably like 5 years old, I think, at the time, and so I believe that was a trauma that kind of stuck with me a little bit. That's why I don't like bullies, and I don't like, people who I just don't like abuse. Period. Yeah. So yeah, that's a trauma. That was.
Well, that was pretty deep. That was heavy. I thought he was gonna start off light.
Yeah, y'all bitches get
I didn't know. No. Put the bitch where it belong, right there. She brought this car.
Consider what we about to talk about. That's very light. Start it out.
Darling, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is Femme Queen, crazy, sexy, and cool.
Yeah, so what's up? Like, what y'all think was going on? I mean, first of all, there was a plane crash. There were 2 plane crashes. But let's start with this first one.
We bringing that up.
Well, I do want to say before we start, our deepest condolences to those who was impacted in these 2 plane crashes. You know, we send our hearts and our love to you and just pray for your comfort during this difficult time.
Yes, that is so sad to just, and they said it happened from the back, so you're not knowing. And one of the young ladies texted her husband and said, I'll be down, we'll be landing in 20 minutes.
Jesus.
What?
But it was so weird because how does something like that happen? Like, their helicopter.
And we're worried about so much going on.
Like, bitch, what? And then when you see the video footage, it was like, bitch, it was like almost like they sat there. Like, it just seemed too, like, I don't know.
Like espionage. I mean, I think a lot of media coverage was saying, like, that guy started talking about, like, DEI, and a lot of them said that they were understaffed, and that.
Well, he did just fire. He did fire the aviation team prior to that.
So the reduction of staff lowers the safety that we had as we fly.
But a Black Hawk helicopter, the Black Hawk.
So there's been some other talk that, maybe somebody was on that plane, they didn't want to touch ground. And
I don't think it was that. I think it's more so, in my opinion, I think that Homeboy is really making people want to feel like they need him. Everybody.
It's
like
a submission. It's so like it's a fear tactic.
Yeah.
That's what it's feeling like to me. That's what they do, like, to make people easier to submit, like, for submission.
Especially for what he's probably going to do to the world. So he needs people to, yes, we need you, whatever you got to do to get it done.
I think it's more than that. I really don't think it's more than that.
Really?
These things that are happening, like, we've seen this happen not in our lifetime, but there's ancestors of the Holocaust. There's so many people that understand what this looks like. And I think about what they experience. Like today, we have social media, we have these different engines and streams that we can actually communicate. But I think about what it was for them like then without social media, without having to communicate with each other, and everyone having like this experience, because he doesn't want to be president. He wants to be king.
But
but no, it's not like we need him. Like he wants to be king. And why I say that is that he wants to have an autocratic space where he controls everything. Right now, he's trying to take over our 3 legislatures, the highest courts in America. He's trying to make sure that he controls each level of that. And what happens is, like, he has his ecclesia. Like, every king has an ecclesia, then they have their council. The council for him is like those people like Elon Musk and, and all that. And then his ecclesia, which is his church, is the Heritage Foundation, which actually put in this Project 2025 that he's following it like it's biblical law. And he said in the beginning that he had no clue what this was about. But now you're implementing everything that
Well,
book
he
has
did say
instructed.
he did let everyone know what he was going to do. He let everybody know what he was going to do. I'm not saying it was right, but he said everything that he was
He
going to
said
do.
a lot of things. Well, see, a lot of those people.
But what
Are
about
we
the
paying
things? What about the
attention
things
now
about
because it's
lowering the
happening,
price
or
of the
what's-
cost of
I don't
food?
feel like-
What about the things that are important that he said that he would do? He's not doing any
I don't feel
of
like the
that.
people who follow him actually do research anyway. I feel like a lot of people, he says one thing and then it's like, yes, like, they jumped on the whole trans thing. Trans people are 1% of the fucking population. Like, you giving it's trans, then the immigration. Like, today I rode in an Uber with the guy driving and I was like, you are driving so slow. And he was like, it's a camera every block. And I was like, okay. He was like, the police are out and ICE is, I said, did you vote? And he said, yes. I said, who you vote for? He said, we all make mistakes. I said, you voted for Trump.
And now you're gagging.
And people are gagging because they didn't want Kamala, but you not wanting Kamala and you holding Kamala to this whole standard and everybody's talking about this Gaza fight. Where y'all at now? Like,
What you mean?
like...
Where's who's that?
So here's what I will say.
It was a distraction for me. It was there's really nothing I could be told because if you wasn't voting for her, then you was giving your vote to Trump.
Yeah.
And like, what did people think was gonna happen? And then also another thing that's bothering me is like we keep talking about this DEI. DEI is not the same thing as affirmative action. So when we think of DEI, everybody automatically thinks of black people, and we were the lowest on the totem pole to receive benefits of DEI. Mm-hmm. DEI, the top were like white women. Then the ethnic groups, it was like the Hispanics, then the Asians, then the lowest was like the LGBTQ, and then the black people. Yeah. Like, so that's what they automatically think, and that's not even the case.
Yeah.
So for me, the whole thing about who didn't vote and who did this, like, I'm beyond the point of blaming who did what and who didn't do.
It's not
because,
a blame,
but
it's
no,
just
here's
facts.
the thing, like, it is facts, right? We understand that this has happened. But for me, the time for me to play the I told you so games and you should have did this and you shouldn't have did that, it doesn't shock me that there's people that live right in our neighborhoods who probably put this thing in action by their votes, right? There's probably people who laugh and joked with us every day and then went into that booth and made their own decision, right? I don't want to, for me, I can't focus on well, you should have did this or I told you so. I don't want to operate from that because it's like we're getting nowhere with that. And these things did happen, right? But I don't want to focus on that. I say that to say with the whole rollout of everything that he said, targeting trans communities and marginalized communities, this is the beginning of how he starts to implement his fascism. He starts to attack those who people think are the least on the scale, so there won't be, oh, it won't mean nothing. My thing is, where's your rage? Where's your voices in support of trans people? I am in the municipal buildings working around the clock to figure out what laws are going to impact us. And meanwhile, as watching this guy is flying out executive orders every other day. And my thing is, these are threats. We're responding to threats that has not actualized. He's starting to roll back these DEI clauses. And for me, when you say merit, what does merit have to do with affirmative action? Because if someone who is black and has the education, the merit, and they go in to apply for this job, and Kate Nolison apply for the job, who's going to get the job? So DEI somehow protected that, where people will have fair opportunities to equal employment.
And it doesn't make you less qualified. A lot of people, like, I feel like the people who listen to that, they think that it's given to people who are less qualified
Yeah,
just
it's
because
not
of who they
that.
are. It's not. You still have to have those qualifications. But another thing that I see people are doing, which I don't think is funny, is people are laughing because Hispanics voted in a high number. They're laughing at the whole ICE situation and stuff. And I'm like, bitch, it starts there, and then what's next?
Right.
Like, we can't.
So we're not right.
You can't do that, because that's where it's starting at, baby. And then the next thing, and then like now they're talking about building this camp. To me, it sounds like concentration camps. You talking about
Everything is
$30,000.
happening. Can we be on? Like, it's just realistically, a lot of people in this country want to be Trump. They want to the role that he's trying to take, that king aspect. They would love to be in that position. They're just upset. They're just upset. Those that same person that was in the cab that voted for him, that would have loved. He would have had no problem if they weren't deporting him. He wouldn't
I
have
think
to,
that a lot of people take aggression. I think I've heard people say
they're upset about we are. No, they don't like. Kamala made it
she
one
didn't
thing.
have a strong state. Like,
yes,
Trump gives up. If you're the type of person who just, you're not really researching. You're looking at this man as aggressive, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that, and people are like, yes, he's gonna do something.
He was attacking her personality most of the time. They was even debating.
We're
they don't
past
care
that.
about nothing. It was a man versus a woman. That's what they saw.
We're past that
That is
now.
exactly what they saw. Exactly, we're past that. So let them people take accountability. Our people need to come together, rally
I hope
against,
that
rally.
this is what
We
this
always
does.
want to feel bad for everybody else, but where's the people that's feeling bad for us? Even as
So-
trans people, we're sitting here
Yes.
we need to figure out what's going to help and continue our community to continue to grow.
think
We need
that-
to love on each other. In this moment that Trump is doing, we need to gather with each other. Stop getting on podcasts, stop getting on Twitter to bash other people when we need to be worrying about what's going on in our community.
When you say our, are you just talking about?
I'm talking about black people.
Okay.
So here's
Because whether I'm trans or black, they're going to come get me anyway. So it's two.
I agree.
I think that and yelling into the void sometimes, and that's when I call it, like when you're screaming and you're saying all this stuff and you're putting it out there, right? These algorithms will suppress your voice. Like, we're not supporting each other. So when you say that, right, we need to really start to figure out a strategic way. We're past the point
Solution.
of what if.
Right.
We have to start meeting with each other, being in community, and doing what needs to be done. I was just at a GSA a couple of weeks ago at LaGuardia High School, and these kids came from all over. And I watched them talk and play and do things, and these were queer and trans kids. And I'm looking at this, and I went home and I cried on the train because I thought about these kids have the right to go to school free from discrimination, free from being bullied, and have the same access to education like any other child. But then you have someone who says he wants to protect the kids. Well, trans kids are included in that conversation, and there's trans kids on both sides, whether you're Republican, Democratic, Independent. We all have these trans kids in our family. Of course, we make up a small percentage of the population, but trans people have always existed. And after 4 years, trans people will still exist. It doesn't matter.
But they
We
are
need to
giving them
really
a hard
start
way to
figuring
go.
out how we could preserve what we have by communicating with one another and doing radical acts of love where we come together and have these intentional conversations that's going to protect our community, that's going to help us thrive. We can sit
But
around.
conversations without action. Is
Yeah,
not
but
gonna-
here's the
We
thing.
can talk about it all day long.
But here's the
what
thing.
we're doing-
But because if we're being honest, some of us are still figuring that out. Like, some of us are every other minute something else is happening. So by the
And
time
they're
you're
trying to
prepared for
exhaust us. I feel like
Right.
they're trying
So-
to tire us out. A lot of things
We're
are not
looking-
even necessary. It's just things that's just being thrown
Exactly.
out. So we could just
So by the
people be like,
time-
oh, he's doing this. He can't just immediately do those things. A lot of those things
This the thing.
also.
There's a whole adjudication process
Yes,
that has to pass in certain things, but he has majority of the control. Here's how we start to activate. We have to meet each other. We have to talk about what we're going to do. The time for I don't like you, I can't work with you. This is not just a trans issue. This is an issue about humanity. This is about our divine right to live as our authentic selves. This is about our women. This is about our elders. This is about everyone. We can just say for now it's trans people, but that's not where it's going to stay. And if you believe that, I would challenge my LGBT siblings and our celebrity, right? Because every time we have Pride or every time we have our events, we're booking all these celebrities. We're giving them our money to come into our communities and hold space with us. I need them to activate. I need them to activate their philanthropy where they're pouring back into the communities who they say that they rock with, right? I need them to be able to do that. Where is your rage? Like when we were out here fighting for marriages and stuff, if you think that he's not on to that next, don't activate then. Activate with us now. Trans people will fight for any cause. We have always stood up for everyone else. Now it's time to see if our siblings will stand up for us and begin to protect us. And that's my problem. That's the problem I have. We will fight for Gaza. We will fight for Congo. We will fight for women's rights. We will fight for the girls in prison. We will fight for everyone. Who's going to fight for us? Where is their righteous indignation? Where is it? Because now is the time. We don't have time to sit around and try to divvy up the line and say who's who and who's what. We're all in this shit together. We need to start figuring it out, and we need to figure it out now. Our elders are on the line, and our children are on the line. And another thing, while we're talking about that, to be very clear, our history is not just found in textbooks. Because I learned my history at kitchen tables under the arm of my grandmother, stirring a batter for cake.
That's the real history.
We need to get back to telling our stories and passing on our information to each other. Because our history cannot be erased.
Like if they tell our story, it reveals the lie and their story, because we are the heroes in the real story.
There it is.
So that's why they do that. And that's why, they try to delete our history so we won't really know.
They're afraid.
If more people knew more of their history, then maybe they would, because I've sat and talked to somebody who actually was so brainwashed that they was like, well, what did black people do? What do you mean?
So here's the thing. They've always hated the black man. This has always been their issue. If we roll it back, they have tried to tear apart the black family and the nuclear family of the black people. Remember when welfare, your man couldn't be in the house with you. They kept the whole school to prison pipeline, locking up the men. But what happened was, an interesting happened that they wasn't prepared for.
It's easy money.
Women started to transition. Right? Women started to come from behind the stove and the barefoot and pregnant, and they started to activate till it started to become a catchphrase, and the women started saying, I don't need no man to take care of mine. So the women changed, and they wasn't ready for that. So now they hate the black woman. You understand what I'm saying? They hate black people. They are so afraid. They are so afraid that their race is dwindling.
It is.
That they are targeting people of color as if that's going to erase us. I guarantee you, when this man is done with his term, because we're not going to give you a third term, we're not going to stand there and let you do that. We'll put Obama back in there and get all of y'all together. But again, he's not going to be able to come back. That's not going to happen. We've messed up before. Learn from this. Start going into your local and state areas where we are putting our Democratic people into position to fight in the next 4 years. Start making sure that their values align with the communities that are impacted, and stop just thinking with your pockets and think about the livelihood of these kids who deserve the right to go to school and have education, that we are able to travel to and from as trans people without fearing for our lives. This is what you need to do. Start talking to your local electives. Stop talking to your city council members, and start moving stuff all over. It's not going to start unless we activate, and we have to activate from the ground up. We have to change our minds and our ideas around education and change our relationship with that, so we become informed and empower each other. And that's how we're going to exact change. Power to the people.
I had to take a pause to that.
I'm just saying, like, we keep talking about this and the crime in New York City, and then we're talking about the migrants creating all this violence and stuff. Let's just be clear.
Get it all out.
U.S. citizen has created more crime and a more level of crime than our migrant community
Absolutely.
members. Let's not talk about the kids who go on in school shooting up the whole school. Them ain't no black kids.
So how do you feel about the immigrants?
I think that we are supposed to be the land or the country of immigrants, right? When we start talking about naturalization and who belongs here, we were
'Cause the
born
land
in
is
the land that
stolen.
was stolen. We're immigrants to this land. Here we got Elphaba right downtown. The Statue of Liberty, ain't she green? Right? So we sitting here talking about liberation and the mere presence of someone who is
Did
supposed
y'all
to
see
be
the
the
Italy? Did y'all
This
see
is
Italy?
ridiculous.
Yeah, you
with the,
showed me that when they had the
when they had
Statue of
the
Liberty
Statue of
in
Liberty,
chains.
because she was originally
So we
black. She was
talking-
originally black. The
Right.
Statue of Liberty.
But they
Enough
painted
is
her green.
enough.
But my
Yup.
thing
Is
is,
she green
we
or
are
silver?
supposed. I don't know
Where-
which she's green. She's the Statue of Liberty
Oh,
is green. Am I right or am I wrong? So my thing is,
Oh my
if
God.
we're supposed to be the land
Realistically,
melting pot.
what's going on?
for people to come and have a better life, how are we telling people, and majority of the people that they are putting away in these ICE camps or ICE is
think
locking
there
them up,
definitely needs
a
to
large
be-
percentage of them are not criminals, have not committed a crime. They're trying to make it that if you get in,
So
you,
let me ask
so
you
everyone
this.
has
Let me
the
ask you
right.
this.
Everyone has
You-
the
you
right
said
to
a
due
lot.
process.
You said a lot. I
Yes,
just
sir.
want to ask you a question. So do you feel like, anybody should be able to just come in and just live, like, just live your life
No,
or
I
whatever?
think
or
that-
do you think
I-
that
I-
there should be some type of
Right,
rules and regulations?
Right. So I'm not excluding the rules and regulations. There
Okay.
needs to be a process, right?
Right.
But we never know how people come here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have siblings who I know. I have people in community who are migrants who are fearing for their lives every day. Trans and queer people who cannot live in their countries. Families who are being persecuted in their country and can't maintain for themselves. I'm never going to tell someone, oh, we're going to do innately whatever we got to do to protect our own and escape terror. So when they come here, yes, New York City is a sanctuary state. That means we do not turn you over, but we need to be equipping them so if they're in the street and ICE runs down on them, that they know how to defend themselves. I know it's oversaturated. We have a lot of migrant communities here, but we're a sanctuary state. And they need to be able to have some place to escape the torture that they're going through. And we
the
need
whole
to
reason
begin
they
this
really
process.
want to get rid of the migrants is so that they won't be a minority. Because they know if the people really came together for real.
So that's another
It's
thing.
too much
right?
for them. Y'all don't understand. It's too much people for
That's
them.
the thing.
It's kind of like, can we
if
be
we
realistic?
really want to
I feel like the
mobilize,
people
we
are
need
not
to
being
let all our
realistic.
issues become one.
Is the mic on, please? Can I speak?
Go ahead, baby.
I feel like when it comes to we do this thing where we try to make huge plans for our people. That's not realistic. Gonna happen. Like, what do you mean? We have to do this. We have to that's 20 steps for a group of people that don't even over 700 years now. We're still stuck in oppression.
Right.
We
But
need to
progress-
heal
So
out of
here's
that.
the
That's
thing.
the first
If we
thing.
all
We need
feel
to
like
heal.
nothing will
No,
ever
no,
happen, then it
that's-
won't ever
Thank
happen.
you.
That's not what I said. I said we need to be realistic about the movement of coming together. We need to start healing ourselves. What we're doing here, this platform that we're doing, we are 3 trans women who are healing ourselves every episode that we talk. That's a movement that we're showcasing to other girls to start to do the same. That starts to progress us. Stop getting on these black men that are getting on podcasts, degrading their black women is disgusting. That's a problem there. Let's change that. Let's start to love on our black
So
women
let's go and
more.
grab our
Let's start
women
to-
off of
that's how
baddies
you
and
start
all
to
of
do
that and tell them to
Because
stop
why
tearing
would
each other
I would
up.
rather sit in a room with the man that's giving me $1,000 versus the man that's beating me down, whether he's black or not. That's what you got to think. I would rather sit with this guy over here that's white, that's saying, I protect you, man.
But
You're
I
amiss to
also
me. I
think that
protect
that's
you.
a media
rather
thing
than
too. I also
it don't
think,
matter what it is.
I also think that is what. I also think that is what sells too. Like, I don't believe
sells
that
to who?
well,
Us.
they don't never show like
That
what
sells to
what
us.
shows do you ever really see black
does that
love?
sell
They don't
to?
really
So,
ever
who
show
does
black
that
love
sell
or
to? It sells
anything.
to
And
us.
there's a lot of black love.
What show do you
But
watch?
It's a lot
just
of
like,
black love.
Just
Wait,
like
wait.
you brought up the thing black on black crime. Like just like that. That's something that's made up. Like there's white on white crime. Like there's Asian. Like there's people. Like why is it just black on black crime?
Is that on
Everybody,
TV?
First of all, it's
Is
more
that
of
on TV?
First of all, it has more to do with education.
You see WWE.
It has more to do with finances and stuff
We
when it comes to
baddies.
crime.
That's what
It has nothing to do
we
with the
have
color.
baddies. It does. It does. It really, really does. We as black people matter, and I just want us to start realizing that. I think it's important for us to start to heal
Absolutely,
ourselves.
but if you
so
don't
in
have-
order it to come
If
together.
you don't have the education, or if you have somebody who keeps oppressing you and telling you that you don't, then you might start to believe that. There's so many things that I feel like we have been brainwashed in this country.
Right.
Religion,
That
we
means
have
heal.
been
You have to heal,
brainwashed.
right?
Gender, we have been brainwashed. Like we've been brainwashed about so many things. That's why it's so hard for people to accept certain things. I was having the conversation the other day. Just like I'm sure even us, like with people don't understand, even with the gender being a social construct, people don't understand that. You know why? Because all we ever known was what we was taught.
and that's called trauma, right?
No, I don't
What
think
is it? That's called
I
trauma.
don't
That's
think-
mental
Here's the
abuse.
thing.
Whatever that is, whatever you want to say it is, you need to heal from that.
Well,
Yeah,
baby,
but like
You can't
see,
expect
everybody's
someone-
sitting there
We
going
can
to
either
heal
sit
and
around
we
and
ain't gonna-
sing
we
kum.
just-
Listen, we
Okay,
can
so
sit
we gonna
around
heal-
and hold
okay, so
hands
we
and
gonna
sing
come together for
kumbaya
today,
all
and then
day.
one- okay.
That ain't gonna change
Realistically.
nothing.
We've been
So
healing.
you're
We gotta be
talking to
real.
a girl
We gotta
that's
be real.
I'm in the
We have to
trenches.
be real.
I'm in the trenches. I'm out there. I'm in communities. I'm meeting a variety of communities.
Right.
I'm doing the work. We can't always sit around and have this kumbaya.
It's not about
Come heal.
kumbaya. It's called
Like,
realistically. How you
okay.
asking? How you these black men they don't want to sit next to you, knowing that you're a
Who?
trans woman.
Yo, our
talking about let's.
I don't
ancestors
know
was
about
not-
that.
our
I'm talking about let's.
ancestors
I
fight
don't know
together.
that to
They
be
don't
true.
No,
heal
you
it.
do know
They
that's
didn't
your
even get a chance to
experience.
No, I'm
heal.
talking about
Bitch,
you.
they was
You
like,
know, we're
bitch,
talking about what's
no.
on that. Come on.
That's your experience. It's no
No.
shade. There are more black
If
people
a
that
black
love
man
us
knew
than
that
hate
you was
us.
trans,
And
Yeah,
I
they
think we need
showed-
to.
right,
I,
they want
wait,
us to
Right,
believe
am I
that
wrong?
people
I
don't-
think
What you
that
mean?
that's another form of domestication thought
We're talking about
of when you start to
realistically
impose
what's
on
happening.
others
What are you fighting
that
for then?
that people hate us, right? I think that
You
there
fight for
are
right
a
because
large
people
number of
hate
black
us.
people who love us more than hate us, and I think
I
that
never
time
said
has
that.
changed, and the time for us to continue this narrative of a black man wouldn't sit next to you. I
It's
work
not
with
about
black men
literally that
every day
situation. It's
that
just-
sit
oh
next
my
to me and work
gosh.
with me.
We're
So when we
talking-
say that, we have to start speaking into our black power. Stop breaking it down till we can't come together. We understand our issues. Every culture have it. We could keep talking about this healing, but unless we have these uncomfortable conversations,
That's
when
called
we begin-
healing. That's
when
called
we begin
healing.
to change
Healing
the
doesn't mean
narrative.
we have to hold a
so
hand.
what
Healing
you
means we
said,
need to realize
what you
what's
said
going on in
about
front
what
of
they
us.
what they
What do you-
put
like,
on
I'm
TV.
confused.
What they put on TV. This podcast and other engines that have a media platform, it is our time to change that narrative of what people usually see coming down their timeline.
Okay,
Y'all
we
know
have
that's
to
called
go.
healing,
I
right?
think that we.
That's
I
called
think
healing,
that we.
though.
I think that
Okay,
we.
if
That's
healing-
called healing.
Let's
Regardless
heal
of what
this
that is,
conversation.
that's healing.
How about that?
Healing
Heal,
does
let
not
it
just
be
mean
healed.
holding
Let's
hands.
heal this conversation.
Heal the world.
Sometimes
Yeah.
accountability
Make it a better
is healing.
place.
Let's take it to somewhere else, please. Since we have an icon
Realistically.
coming on,
Let's talk about it.
let's talk about. First of all, let me say this real quick. I just want to take a little quick moment and say shout out and congrats to the Jellicle Ball Ensemble for
All
winning.
right,
we won
that's
the Obie
right.
Award. I have an Obie Award. I love you, fam.
Congratulations on
So
your
thank you for that. So I deactivated my Facebook like a week ago. I came back on last night because I wanted to see the live of the ball. But it was just so many things that were starting to wear me out and like was so draining. And one of the things that kept really standing out to me is like this Butch Queen and Femme Queen conversation. And so many times these Butch Queens were saying stuff. I'm like, oh, y'all really don't like us. Like what is that? Like, I'm like, I have to just get away from these conversations because I seen something where, I don't know, I wasn't there or whatever, but the narrative is that a Butch Queen was attacking a Femme Queen and a Femme Queen jumped in.
When was this last night?
No, this wasn't last night. This was like a week ago. The whole Uno and situation.
Are you name dropping?
But excuse me. Bullshit. Well, I mean, it's past now, but I'm just saying, stemming from that, I seen somebody else say, well, why is it that if the girls are getting attacked, how come these butch queens are coming up with the scars and stuff? And I was like, well, what? Just because somebody, I was like, well, just because, I mean, if I get attacked but I can fight better than the other person, does that mean that I didn't get attacked? Like, I didn't understand what
Leave
that
that lady alone.
Right? Maybe they should
Leave
just
that
got
lady
hands.
alone. You never
Or whatever.
know.
So I seen other people saying, child, if it happened to me, I'm going to get, like, you know, it was just like, what is this? Then I seen somebody saying how if a girl uses her, if a girl is talking about using her penis, but you don't want to be called a man. Like what? Why are y'all so obsessed with the girls and their bodies
They
and
don't
what they
understand.
do?
Ignorance.
Like, what is it? Do y'all feel like it's I'm just starting to really think that a lot of butch queens don't like the girls.
You just started.
Yeah, because I didn't come up around that.
Yeah,
Like, the people that was around me, they showed me love.
Yeah.
Like, the butch queens I was around, I didn't have that. I feel like this new generation, I'm like, what is the tea?
I feel like after that, someone put a post on Facebook that I do love, made a post that day, and they was talking about trans versus cis women and this whole conversation. A lot of my butch queen brothers, I started to speak out against that. On his side, and I gagged because they never made me feel any other, like, it was just always love. I always felt good with them. So that moment, it was like a shaking them for me, like, oh shit, this is how y'all feel about us. So ever since then, I've been feeling like it's always been an undercover line of shade of not understanding. It's like, and I also started to think maybe they just don't understand. Maybe it's that, but it seems hate-ish. Seems very hate-ish.
And maybe, and I will say this too. Some of the girls.
Thank you.
And here she-
Is
I'm
this
not
shit
gonna say. I'm
on?
not
She
gonna
was
say.
going.
You're not
but
gonna
some of the
say it?
girls-
Because
I'm just saying. I'm gonna say, because I'm not gonna be biased. I'm not gonna speak from one point of view. I mean, I only can speak for the girls, and I know who I am. But I have seen some girls act out a certain
That part.
way
Let's just
that maybe people start feeling like it's okay to disrespect them because of the way they're showing
Because
up.
we're aliens, you can treat everyone the same. I think it's a thing of
No, 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 no,
no, no,
that's-
no,
that's-
no, no,
because
no, no,
that's
no,
an
no,
excuse
no,
to-
no,
What do you
no,
mean?
no,
Because
no.
this girl
So
acting like
here's
that.
the
That
thing.
means
So here's
what's
the
the
thing.
difference
That doesn't mean
of
you
what's
should
the
keep a group
difference
of
if you
people.
going in a project
So-
and what you going in a project
so-
to black this cis woman smack the shit out of a piece of trade? Do he start treating all women the same? No, he treat her like that. Those type of women like that. Why do we have to sit here and say those things? Or maybe they're treating us like, certain girls. What do you
So
mean?
right.
I'm different. My name is
No.
Asia. I'm not her.
No, I wasn't saying.
But so
treat us
here's the
all
thing.
It's
the
like
same.
treat us like, come on,
Treat us accordingly. So here's the thing.
Exactly. With that
I
same
think-
person that give you respect, give them the same. It's
I
simple.
think it's generational in a sense, because when we were growing up, you couldn't even say nothing to a femme queen or do anything to her. The boys would protect us. We always had this sense of protection. And I'm not saying a generational thing like in the bad way, but this generation does have a higher level of propensity towards violence, not just with others. And my thing is, if we keep fighting each other, we ain't gonna have time to fight nobody else, because we're gonna take each other out. And we need to stop that. And my thing is, for us, I get what you're saying. It's an incident, it's a person, but we make it a broad thing, and they generalize and start talking about all trans women, and we are all not the same. Obviously, we are all not the same. So everyone shouldn't be treated the same. But to echo what you were saying, there are some girls who want to walk rough and tough with their Afro puffs and knuckle up, right?
All right.
So if they get it handed to them, you went there with that.
Right.
So I don't
What's
think
this
that
go-
it should become a whole general conversation for everybody to take, because that's a personal incident between that person and that person. That's why you never really hear me
They
speak
treat
on
it-
that.
they
My
try to
thing is,
box
we need
us.
to stop fighting each other and start fighting together, because
Agreed.
that's what we
Amen.
up against now. And my thing is, I block it out. Sometimes I unfollow. I just don't have the time to consume that, because it's a waste of fucking time. Y'all fighting each other over gender and identity and who's this and that. And at the end of it all, bitch, he coming for all of us. So what are you going to do when it's time for us to fight together? You still going to have to need that same girl who you reading and going at it with. So we
Yeah.
need to stop. And when we say, it's another thing that we do. I remember Mika had said this, and it shook me when we had did an interview a long time ago. She said ballroom. We make it seem ballroom as like this blanket statement for everyone. Ballroom is not like this entity. It's an incident. It's issues. It's the people of ballroom. It's not ballroom. It's people within ballroom that fuck up ballroom, where it's no longer fun, where we go in the balls are shut down. People done spent money. It's like that shit right there is a waste of time. And given how we're going to have to start paying for shit now, we need to really start considering how we restructure our culture and be intentional with it. So this infight and shit, it needs to stop. It's senseless. It just doesn't make sense. That's your sister. He's your brother. Put your hands down and learn to communicate. Simple as that.
I know that's right.
And let them do what they want with their stuff.
Girl.
Like, we
What
don't
they be
talk
doing?
about
What they be doing with their stuff?
I feel like it's
Girl, that's
really not
nasty.
anybody's-
It's nobody's
I don't think
business.
that anybody should. Me personally, you yelling out what you do in the bed and what you do with your stuff, like, I just think that's kind of immature. I don't think that's really anybody's business. But I also think that they stop judging people or their genital. Like, we are not just our genitalia. Like, so stop. I don't sit around and say a butch queen just because you bottom that you're a woman. No, you're still a man who just likes penis in your butt. Like, it doesn't, you know.
Oh
Are you
my
getting
gosh.
comfortable, Tabytha?
That's
Wow. When we come back.
That's
That's the thing with the what?
That's this thing with the pus.
Say it. Okay.
Well,
So before we go into the other segment, can
Cat
I please just say
canoes.
one more thing?
you said enough. No, I'm just
The
No.
cat
No,
canoe. She was talking
no,
to.
So,
no.
it's very important that as you come to this space for laughter, joy, and all things culture, I also want you to understand that we will be leaving information for our trans siblings. At the end of this, please go and click those websites. If you're looking for supportive housing or some ways that you need support, please look at the links attached to this episode.
Can I ask you a question? Before we go, what do you think us as a community, trans women, need to do in this moment, in this very moment?
If I'm being honest, I think we need to come out of the scarcity mindset, and we need to talk to one another, and we need to figure out whatever resources I don't have that you have. We need to create this chain where we're able to make sure that our community is protected and safe. It's so important, and this is not something that just trans women can do. This is not just us. We need our trans siblings. We need our non-binary siblings. We need us all to come together and begin to work this thing out, because this is a thing that will affect all of us. And to community, please support your leaders. They are silencing us through our algorithms. Pump up, support them, share it, comment, save it. Do what you do to amplify the voices that's going to help save our community. So that's how we need to do. We need to begin to support one another and strategically work out what we're going to do. Helpful tip: stop yelling into the void, stop telling them what you're going to do, and just do it.
Okay.
We are the world. We are the children.
We are the ones to make a better
Yo,
day.
it's time to
So
stand up and
let's
come together
start
for real. New
giving.
shit. New shit.
There
They trying
are
to take us out.
people
But we'll be
dying.
back. That's the type of bitch that she's the type of bitch that if you sing a piece of a song, she gonna go in on it. That's that friend who wanna battle you, bitch. You might start out playing, but she's like, you're like, okay. But we'll be right back with the mouth of Ballroom, baby.
She's here.
Kelly Gorgeous.
Are you here for the shit?
Are you here?
Stop right there. This is Femme Queen Crazy Sexy Cool. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Get back into the tea.
We're back with the icon of Big Girl's face, realness, and she also will give you a little performance. She didn't probably walk every goddamn thing.
And
but
don't forget commentator versus commentator.
she probably also, I would say, probably holds the crown for media, for the longest media personality in Ballroom. So I will give her that. You know, we've had our little 1-2s, but I can give her a 2. Hey, Kelly.
Hey, boo, what's the
Good.
tea?
What's going on, y'all?
Kelly, I got one question.
Yes.
Are you here for the shit?
I'm here for the shit. Are y'all here for the shit?
We here for the shit, but so Kelly came in hot. She heard a part of the conversation of the political standpoint that we're in, the politics and all that type of stuff. What you got to say? I know you got something to say.
So, when I was in here in makeup, I heard the conversation. I just don't understand, like, on the 20th at 1 o'clock, when he first signed his first executive order that it was only going to be men and women, all the whole black community was like, oh, yes, great, 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 great. Now, a week later, it's this DEI inclusion, and now y'all want everybody in the community to stand with y'all. But did y'all stand with us on the first day he was in office? But now y'all want us to stand with y'all. Baby, please, y'all got to pick a side, baby. Y'all want us with y'all or y'all want us separated from y'all? Because now that y'all can be called, I don't know if I could say this, and all types of things of that nature, now y'all got a problem. But y'all didn't have a problem on the first day of order. Fuck ya.
Like we said, she's here for the shit.
I am very much
What did I
so.
say? What did I say?
Okay. Yeah, I just don't see it. Now everybody, and I heard Asia was like, we all suppose she's black, she's trans. No, baby. I am trans. I am me. I am not. I'm doing
black?
like everybody else.
Are you not
But
black?
you can't hide the fact that you're black.
I'm
You're
doing
black,
like
though.
everybody that I spoke to up to this election. When I asked this man, if Donald Trump was to do that to your daughter, he said, well, my daughter should have been in that situation. But he also said, and I said, well, what about your son and being killed by these cops? My son shouldn't be out there. I'm worried about me. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to continue. I love my trans community. I love everybody. But I have to worry about what's best for me because nobody stands up for us as trans women when it was only men and women. But now that it affects our whole community, they want all of us to come and get on the boat. But bitch, as soon as y'all patch that motherfucking boat up, the motherfucker going to sink. Y'all the first ones going overboard.
Oh, wow. What I want to say to you is that and I understand where you're coming from on that whole perspective. But what I will say is that we're not going to survive like that.
No.
Right? We're not going to survive like that. And I get it. There's a lot of shit that needs to be addressed within our black community. But what I will say is that conversation and that attitude will not project us forward. Right? We have to, let's get on the ship.
We on the ship.
Let's get on the ship.
I want to stay on the ship, though,
But
to
listen,
get to the other side.
Listen, let's stay on the ship. Let's get there together, and then we can patch that shit up later.
No.
But right about now,
Bitch, as soon as they
right
patch
about-
that shit,
So here's the
patch
thing.
that shit up, the four of us is going over because we too much motherfucking weight. Bitch, trust me for real.
I'm not going over.
Well, bitch, listen, I know I'm going first, bitch, okay? I'm loud, I'm black, and I'm trans. I'm going to be the first one over.
We're not gonna let that happen to you.
Yeah,
honey.
well,
We
save
got
me,
you.
sister. Save me.
Then they
But
come-
what I
they
will
throwing
say,
you too. They,
no,
you
what I
trying to
will
for
say,
this, you go
what I
too.
will say, like I said earlier, it's important that the rest
I'ma
of
try
our
to blend
community
in.
starts to stand in the gap for us because you're right. We are always on the front for everybody else. It's time that I need their righteous indignation to show up for us as well.
They're not. Tabitha,
But they will.
Tabitha, we've been asking.
She wanted to
I
so
just
bad.
can't-
She
I
want.
can't
I listen.
deny-
I love you, sis. I love you, sis.
You know, trans people
and
wanna-
I
they wanna
really
hope
feel
that
like
the
I
other
really
side
feel
is
But
like
I
your
just
back.
don't
I love
understand
you
when
too.
trans,
You know
like
that.
I just can't
You know what-
deny
you know what I'm
any
talking
part of who I am, and
Right.
trans is not my only existence.
There you go.
Like,
Thank
and
you.
You
I
are
am
trans.
black, and that's the first thing that you see when
you
I
see
step
me.
out the door is you see.
I want
No,
them
they
to
feel that
be.
you was trans.
I want them to
Yeah.
be. I want them to be
Aisha
here.
said the first
I
thing
want
they
them to
said
be
she
here for
trans.
us.
Not me.
I thank you. I said the
I
first
want them to
thing
be
they
here
said.
for us. I'm telling y'all, I really
that's the
do.
trans
I want them
woman.
to be here, and I want to be all inclusive when it comes to me being black and me being a trans woman.
black.
I am.
And that's the first thing. Now, the other stuff that comes from
They see
their
no,
own-
they
Listen,
see that
oth-
before they see black.
But see, but no.
When I open my mouth, they see trans.
But
But
here's-
your
but here's the-
icon realness.
Yeah, baby. But I still sound like Barry White.
I love you, Kelly.
So let's I want to take it back because we always get this one side of Kelly And like, Kelly here for the shit, all of this. I want to know who Kelly was prior to Ballroom and coming into Ballroom. Like, what was like your aspirations and dreams and stuff when you was a
Before
young
the
kid?
U-Haul.
And before Mother U-Haul and all that. What was like, who did you think that you would be, and like, what did you want to be like growing up? What was your childhood like? You all right?
Because it's a geek. It's a geek. Just thinking back that I wanted to be the M10 bus driver at home.
That was. You wanted to be the bus driver?
I wanted to be the M10 bus driver. I used to take the M10 bus to school, and I always wanted to be the M10 bus driver.
Wait, what is M10?
No, that's the bus. That's the bus in Harlem. That's the bus in
Okay.
Harlem. So I used to always say, one day I'm gonna drive this motherfucking bus. Miss Lady.
Little did they know it would be a U-Haul.
I always wanted to be the M10 bus driver. That was my goals back in the day. And then that shortly went out of the window, honey. Okay, when I found. When I was sitting in the house with my cousin, the legendary Ray Ray Mizrahi, and the legendary Kai Mizrahi, and they were talking about going to some club. And I was getting like, they going to a club, but ain't nobody telling me they ain't telling me, but they going to the club. So I went home, and I got the train map, and I found out about the clubhouse, buddy.
How old was you when you first got into Ballroom? Like,
Now, we're not going to tell you all of that. I was supposed to be one age, but I was 18 when I came out. I was 18 when I was in the club, Miss Say Bitch, but I wasn't really 18 because those girls at the time didn't want to hang out with us, but I was 18 when I came out. But yeah, and I went to and they gagged. When they came on 28th Street, I was sitting on the water fountain, and that's when I realized that Ray Ray was a closeted queen and Monique was a closeted dyke. Excuse me if that's offensive. It changed my world. Miss Say Baby, okay? Baby, it was one of those days.
So what was your like first like inspirations, like when you came in Ballroom, like how did you decide what you was gonna start walking and stuff? Like what captivated you that made you want to go into the categories and things that you started doing?
So when I was sitting at the clubhouse, God rest both of their souls, Albert Evisa and Jennifer Evisa, they came out. And I said, bitch, if those fat motherfuckers can do this shit, bitch, I'm getting my big ass up out here, bitch, okay? So I came out, well, I didn't come out. My brother came out for Big Boy's performance, and he came out for Big Boy's face, and then they kept chopping him every time he came out on Wednesday night. Miss Say, he was such a knot. Miss Say, bitch, just
You
kept
talking about
chopping.
your past life?
No, my brother, this boy, I don't know his name. Hey, they used to call him Miss P. Miss P. I don't remember his name. He used to come out and get chopped for all of these categories.
Oh, the past.
And so, girl, listen, I got me a pair of knickers and a $2 t-shirt and tied it up and got me a $10 wig and put it on. Oh, and it changed my life for the better, honey. Okay, look at me now. This thing
Okay, come
but that
on.
Butch Queen was a knot, child. It was just a mess out there getting chopped for all of those categories. But, you know.
I want to ask you a question on that, Grants. When you say that, do you feel like being that you were treated, that Butch Queen was treated a certain way, do you think that made you feel like I got to carry now?
It made me feel like it wasn't, I had to find my niche. It didn't really, like, so now it's so harsh when people get chopped and things of that nature, because back when I was coming out, it was a chop and people came and told you what you were doing or what you needed to fix. Now, bitch, you get chopped, bitch, they ridicule you, mistake, bitch, you becoming a meme. That's what they call it, a meme or meme. Yeah, mistake, girl. Yeah, so you know they ridicule. Yeah, you know they ridicule you and stuff, and it'd be crazy. And I'm gonna be really, listen. I'm part of the problem, bitch. I'm definitely a part of the fucking
Tell
problem.
the truth.
Why do you say you're part of the problem?
I'm part of the problem because if you come up and ask me why you got chopped while I'm sitting on the panel, I'm getting a viral moment. Bitch, don't be asking me no motherfucking question.
Do you think
why the
you
fuck
learned
you
that from
questioning
the
me?
girls from back in the day?
I think I don't know if it's for the girls back in the days or if everything is just about going viral now. So that
are
you're
you
trying to get a
always
better.
looking for your moment?
Oh, I'm always looking for a moment. Who y'all interviewing right now? Even though everybody call me Kelly Gorgeous Gucci, Kelly Harrison. You have a better chance of getting Kelly Harrison if you wait until I get off the panel and ask me a question. But if you ask me a question on the panel and the cameras is going, oh yeah, I'm gonna give a show.
Come on.
So you always a character. So
it
you're
is a character.
you being a stickler because you are a stickler on the panel. You are a harder judge. Sometimes because you may not keep the same energy for everybody.
Okay.
Because you made a comment that you have an alliance. So let's be here since we're here for the shit. Let's be here for the shit. We're doing a little
Is it
different
on?
here. I'm gonna give you your life, but we are gonna approach a few things. Since
Well,
we're
let's
here.
go. I'm here
You can't
for it.
mute me and shit. Bitch. Me and Kelly have had moments, but I tell you, we have
Listen,
had.
let me tell y'all something. And I tell people this all the time, right? Like a lot of people don't know this. Like, and I tell people this all the time. Me and this lady don't have a problem. When it's just ballroom, it's a ballroom shade when we in ballroom. And people don't know. They're saying maybe the reason why she knows that name Pop is because before there was Tempress, before there was Chastity, I used to hang out with Tiny in the projects back in the days in my hood. So we don't have, it's just a ballroom thing. But then outside of
was a history.
ballroom,
I didn't know
we
that.
kiki and we talking everything. But in ballroom,
Oh, baby.
it's what it is in ballroom.
Yeah, so another thing in how it started is so I'm gonna answer all y'all questions who always ask this. Did Kelly beat me for face?
Oh.
Kelly beat me for face one night. It was a joke that went a little too far. But so Kelly used to run. Yes, and I beat Tempress. And yes, and I beat. So I'm like, this bitch. She wanna keep on. She wanna keep on. So every chance I get, me and this bitch is going at it. We gonna go at it, bitch. You wanna bully this bitch? Bitch, I'm coming. But yeah, no, there's no.
Yeah,
beef or whatever.
and mind
There's
you, and only reason I held that moment so high up in my thing is because I was still a brick, still walking face. Okay, I would come in the balls. I'm sitting down at the table, Miss Thing Girl. I'm Kiki and Kakaya, Miss Thing Girl, getting drunk or whatever, Miss Thing Girl. You know my ones and twos, Miss Thing Bitch, and we'll get dressed and change for the category. I'm all sweaty and stuff and everything. That night was the first time that Jack said, if you want them to actually take you serious, you have to be like the rest of the girls. And you have to sit outside in the car and wait for the fucking category. And so that night was the first night that I did that. And so that's why I hold that moment so high when it comes to my, because that was the first time I did that. Other time I come out there, I'm more sweaty and shit, looking, a hot mess and things of that nature. But that was that night.
Well, you
I was
look
still
good
looking
right
for
now.
Ashton Kutcher.
What you say?
Remember the show Punk'd?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
No,
You was
but
waiting
so,
for-
so you said that you have alliances.
I thought we got off of that.
No, Kelly, you coming back to that because I gagged when you said that, bitch. Because that's
Do
like,
you
I
have an
know, we
alliance?
know that goes on the panels, but you said that you had an alliance.
A lot of houses have alliances. And so when it comes to alliance, well, at the present moment, I really don't have any alliances with anyone at this present moment. Because the people that I did thought that I had alliance with, I would see, it's, so let me say this when we say alliances, right? Alliances you would think would be your alliance with me and the Allures, or me and the Mason Margellas would have an alliance, right? But I would only have an alliance with Asia, or I would only have an alliance with Tabytha. But then when somebody else from their house would sit up there, it's not the same voting process or whatever it is. And then they say, oh, well, I'm gonna have a conversation with them and we're gonna fix it. But every time, only if me and y'all is up there together, we picking for each other unless they're battling one of our members. And it only works with certain people. You think you have an alliance with a house, but you only have an alliance with an individual and not a house.
That is some fucked up shit.
Okay.
So let me just put
That's
that out.
ballroom.
But here's right
I
because
feel like
there-
that's not
because
the ballroom
wait a minute.
that y'all grew up in now.
So here's the thing. That's so fucked up to the people who actually invest. And if that person may be slanging the other person's, that person will win knowing that this other person left it on the floor. But because of that alliance, you're going to vote for the person that you agree with. And that's fucked up. And
Ballroom is fucked, bitch. Ballroom is fucked up. Where the fuck y'all been at?
But
This
it
shit is
is.
fucked up.
But
So
you
listen.
prepare-
So
But
last
as-
But you're a
night,
part of the problem, though.
I'm not a part of the problem. I'm just here,
Yeah.
and I might be here for the shit sometimes, but I'm here.
Okay, so I feel like so as an icon, you hearing yourself say that, and you seeing where ballroom is, what do you think you can do better in this situation, or do you feel like you want to stand up to do, like, let me change this situation?
I can't stand up and be the change.
You can.
I tried to.
You're
no,
an
listen,
icon.
listen,
You're
I'ma tell
here.
y'all
Do you
right,
know
I'ma
your
tell y'all why,
power?
right?
Do you know
I'ma
your
tell y'all why,
power?
right? Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all why, right? And why I say that is because there is so many opportunities and so many avenues that I tell people all the time. But y'all got to remember, I'm the black, no-chested tranny, but I just got him back 2 weeks ago.
Congratulations.
That, you know,
Congratulations.
people
See?
don't like. And when I tell people things, they don't listen to me. Because, you know, don't listen to her. You know, she just being messy. She's just that girl. But the shit that I actually telling them is actually the truth. Like the stuff with Pose and the stuff with Legendary. I told these girls this stuff before it happened, but nobody wanted to listen to me. Ballroom has made the younger generation the minority when it comes to icons and legends that potentially they can overthrow the older icons and legends because it's more of them. And they can become the power that will make change. I've been telling them that for the last 4 years. What have they done with it?
So you want them to overthrow you because you're an icon?
Bitch, they can, I can sit my fat out. Cause if I was comfortable enough with things going in the right direction, I could sit my fat ass down in my house, baby, and be comfortable and watch it from the motherfucking live. I gotta get up in drags like this.
But
baby.
I feel like
So let me ask you
it's a certain power that you can have as who you are.
Yeah.
I feel like I
You
understand.
can be
I
the
understand what
change.
you're saying. It makes you want to be like, you know what? I'm not even because no one's listening, but the right people will listen to you. Like those people may not listen to
need
you,
to just
but you
get
don't.
up and
They
do
don't
the
need to
work.
listen to you because you are power without them.
Yeah,
you
but I'm
are.
not, but that means y'all want me to keep working.
No,
What
you will
do you
have
want your
all
legacy
of
to
us
be?
having your
I want
back.
my- I want my-
We will
I
stand
want my
with
legacy.
you.
I want
We
my-
will stand with you. We
I
will
want
have
my
your
legacy-
back.
I want
have
my
your back.
legacy. I want my legacy to be that I was a bitch that came into this scene, baby, and I was a brick and I was a knot, and I never had a seat at the table, but now I am the motherfucking table.
Right.
And these bitches have to come and sit with me.
But
because nothing
Do you
happens
think
unless
you
it comes through my
became
desk.
your oppressor? Kind of like people treated you a
And now you
certain
treat
way,
other people that
and
way.
now, do you think that you kind of became that, like, they gave
No.
you a hard way to go,
No,
and
no,
so
no,
now
no,
you're like, bitch.
No. Because I give everybody an opportunity, and so let me tell y'all a little backstory that really grinds my gears, right? Okay, and I say this all the time, like to people in my house when we having conference calls and things. Where, oh, I don't see that person for face. I don't see that person for this, and I don't see that person for that. And I read them, and that really grinds my gears because I let them know all the time. Y'all offend me when y'all say shit like that. Because the same thing y'all saying about these people is the same thing that people said about me. And if that's the case, none of y'all will fucking know me. So stop saying that what y'all don't see for people and where people can be and how they are. So I don't oppress anybody. I'm here to lift people up, and I see anybody should have an opportunity to get out there because you never know. Kelly bitch, and I'll keep it funky and motherfucking real, bitch. Since we here all sexy, crazy, and cool. Kelly Miss Rahi had no motherfucking business winning over motherfucking this
I
bitch.
needed you to say that.
Okay? And I'm keeping it real. And I'm keeping it real. Kelly Mizrahi was a fucking brick and had no business winning over her. Now, Kelly Gorgeous Gucci is a whole different motherfucking thing, bitch. Kelly Mizrahi, that skin was wrong, those teeth was wrong, it was wrong. Bitch, think the ballroom, like they said, was scared. And I can say that here now. Mistake, bitch, because I have came so far from where I was at to where I'm at now. Mistake, that bitch had no motherfucking business winning, but she did, and she gonna keep walking around with it.
I know you're a philanthropist. I mean, you give back to the community,
Yeah,
like
definitely.
you do like a whole book bag drive, and you know you do like big cookouts and things like that for the community, and we don't want to overshadow that. So there are a lot of things that you do for the community, and I don't think you realize the influence that you have on the community, and that's why I said, what do you want your legacy to be? Because there are some terrible things that you have done.
I have done a lot of terrible things.
And
But
do you feel bad about any of those things? Hold on. We're going to save the rest of this for part 2.